Hi, this is Rew Payne with the third in a series of how to photograph your art for SCA. In this one, we've already made the light box. We've learned how to set up the light box, and now we're going to learn to use our phones, our handy dandy phone, to take photographs of this. So one of the things that I want to preface is a lot of people will not get close enough to the object, so you can get really close to your object, and then you tap the screen once, and this is almost every phone. Tap it once and see there's a little yellow square that will pop in, or you can zoom in, but when you zoom, it's going to get fuzzy and it gets shaky. The camera gets shaky, and you don't want that. So it's easier if you get close to where it is, but you don't want to get too close because then it's going to get distorted. So you want to get just enough zoom without the distortion. So sometimes you want to come back, zoom in, wait for it. And you have to be patient sometimes, and then let it. And it's okay to not zoom in and take something right there like that, because you can zoom in afterwards and crop it. Cropping is your friend. Something else you can do is put your phone on something that stabilizes your phone, so you're not shaking with your hands and you're able to zoom, but you don't want to zoom in too far. Like 3 is the most you want to zoom. You don't want to pass 3 or 4, or you don't want to get like way into here, because it's going to be really grainy. I mean, you can see it on your phone. That's great to look at, but not when you're taking the photo, because it will be really grainy and pixelated. You don't want that. It's better to come out, click it once, you get that lovely picture, nice and clear. See, if I click over here, you notice how the light changes and now the object is fuzzy. You want to click right on your object. This is an iPhone, so iPhone and a lot of other phones have this feature where you can click on it, hold it, and now it's locked. So the focus is locked and the lighting is locked. And so then you can just take that picture. You can get your object from multiple angles. So say I want that angle. I just move the phone there, and then just carefully refocus. So I removed the lock, held it down to get the lock back, and then click. I can do just a little bit of a zoom, just do like a 2. Relock it. Every time you mess with this and you go zoom in or zoom out, remove the lock and relock it, because that changes, as you notice, the background here. So I'll just go over here, lock it there, and zoom, and you see how it's, I don't know if you can actually see it, but it does change that background. And the idea is you don't want the background to change. You want it to be this blissful whiteness in the background, this wonderful blurriness in the background. Multiple different phones have different things. Like this one has a portraiture light, which you can use. It's right there, but you have to move further away. So you want to get it to where it can focus. And click it there. That gives you stage light. You hit this little button here and you can get studio light, which will make it brighter. But you can't zoom in and zoom out. You have to manual. But it also has these wonderful features where you can hit at the corner, this top corner over here, and it's fun to just play around with. And top corner, this gives you your f-stops. What this will do is it'll blur your background more. So Do it with the other hand so you can see that. So if you look in that far corner there, that's very crisp. Move the other way and it's very blurry. Get it focused. And then there we go. And then it just blurs that background. There's a lot of different hidden features that they just don't tell you. So it's best to just play around with your phone and find all those. There's a lot of YouTube videos on where those are at. You can, down here, oops, there you go. Down here on this side, there's this little light button where you can change the lighting on it. You can make your exposure darker or brighter. See, if I bring it there, I've now burnt out. You can't see the details in this lovely ring that the Princess of Mists had made. There you go. You can also set a timer. So if you want to get yourself all set up, set it for 3 seconds, and then you can put your fingers in, something like that, where you can, you might want to add something for just a second, or what's useful in that, we're gonna do this here for 10 seconds, is that you might want to have something like dangling or something, and you want to have those moments to get it next to the object. There's just all sorts of funs. This one changes your colors, so you can have vivid, warm tones. Warm tones are very nice to have. Dramatic, warm, cool.
Is there specific benefits for any particular one? Or is it just kind of a how you feel thing?
It really depends on the object and the lighting that you're using. I'll turn this timer off here. Oops. You can flip it around. We don't want to see me. We want to see the object. There we go. There we go. Sorry, I wanted to get that back on there. And then get back to those buttons. So a lot of it's just pushing buttons back and forth, back and forth. I like to have warm for warm objects. So if I was going to say, move the ring over there, and we're gonna put this beautiful heart-shaped thing here, I would want more of what you see how that's a cooler tone with a warm object.
Okay.
So you'd want the warmer tone on there. So there's vivid, there's our warm. So you see, I don't know if you pick that up there, how much more woody that looks with that warmer tone versus the cool. The cool is picking up all the greens in that picture, or there's dramatic warm, which is a little bit more like the old cinema that they used to have. Dramatic cool, mono. So you want to do in black and white, you can actually shoot in black and white. Most cell phones actually have this feature where you can go to noir, silver tone, or mono.
Oh.
And then you can just, yeah, it's really cool. So you could set up your light box and go, well, I really want to get the ring back here. Get those features. Let me move that out of the way. And probably can't tell, but I'm like zooming in with my with the camera in the noir, getting kind of close, but still keeping the focus. And then you can see the object there. And a lot of it, again, is just playing with all the features. A lot of people don't play with their features. They just think, oh, well, I'm just going to take it like this and then click, and that's fine. But you can do a little zoom. You can, don't be afraid to get close to your object. This is why you have a light box, so you can get really close to your object. And then we can get that detail. I'm gonna move this. here. So I've just, and then don't be afraid to move your object. And then we get the detail on there. I lost one of my lights. Oh, yeah. It just, and that happens sometimes. There we go. They time out on you sometimes. The other one did too. There we go. Huh. That's a nice little weird feature. So I'm gonna set up this little beautiful item there. And somehow here we go. So I've zoomed in really good. Wait for the camera to focus. You really just have to hold still and be patient with the camera in the phone for just a moment, like, 2, 3, 1, then you hit. And then do a couple of shots because your hand will inevitably move in places. So I always take about 5 or 6 shots just in case, and then I will zoom out a little bit, zoom out a lot, zoom out a lot. Maybe I want to add something in there like so I can know my sizing on this later on. So I can go, oh, well, that's comparative to this razor blade. Like you can get a good, because sometimes when you're zooming in, you're zooming so fast that you're not going to see, like, your photograph isn't going to know the actual size of things. So you can just boom. And of course, when I took it, that's right when my hand moved up. So take it again, take it again. You can just go as fast as you want or slow and as you want. You can take video in your light box if you want to do that. So you just click it and then you have your moment of video where you're like, here is this wonderful piece.
You could totally put a lazy Susan in there and spin that right now.
And spin it, right, exactly.
And in touch with your inner TV shopping.
Exactly, you can. You could even, this has slow motion on it. So if you put your object in and you start recording, there we go, hit the record and then start spinning. And then your video will actually have a slow motion on it, which is really useful if you're doing the video. And then you click your top button and your bottom button, and now you've gotten a screenshot.
Oh, cool.
Of that, and it's crystal clear. It's really useful. This is how I've gotten quite a lot of good shots of things. And so we're going to go back. There's time lapse. So if you're doing something that's growing, so say your art is actually something that's growing, you can set up your camera on the tripod and hit the click, and it will take a series of photos over a course of time. So you can see your cool flax growing. If you want to do like a flaxseed or something like that, it has all those time lapse.
So like we could do the light box, but without the bottom part too, and then put it over a tree or whatever as it's sprouting.
Yes.
Cool.
This is something I found that was interesting. People wouldn't usually, you would use the pano for doing panoramas for a big location. You can do it for a small object. So I'm going to show you here where we're going to take it, and we're going to click it, and then we just pan up, and then that gives us a less distorted version of it. If you're finding your object is distorted no matter what you're doing and you want it not distorted, then there you go. And then you just crop it the way you want to there.
Very cool.
It is a really useful feature that is underutilized is the pano. So you go off here, click it, and then move it. And you don't have to pan all the way across, but that gives you, again, less distortion. Sometimes if you are doing that, so you get that, but
That's a fascinating effect. It really does make a difference.
it really does make a difference. If you're close to something, you bring the camera close to it, it makes it more bulbous. If you pull it away, it will give you more true. And then that's why you pull your camera away, but then push in. And then you have less of effect. It's something I noticed with selfies when you're taking selfies. Is you put the camera right up your face looks weird, or your nose looks huge, but you pull the camera away and then you zoom in and you look more normal.
That's why we like selfie partners with long arms.
Yes, selfie partners with long arms is awesome. And so one of the other things you can also do, I have it here, is you can add a flash to it. So I hit the flash button. You can see the flash button. So there's a little tiny flash button over here, and you can turn on and off. And that will actually add a flash if it's too dark or something else is going on. You want to add just that little bit of light. It may not show up. So I think that's all the basic features of the doing those. I'm going to move the little rice bag. So I was using a rice bag with the velveteen with my object. So this way I could prop it up and make it a little bit more nice looking. Now I have all this stuff that you would see. You don't really see it right here with this camera, but with your phone camera or your other nice camera.
There's a little bit of velvet fuzz in person.
Yep, velvet fuzz. Now remove the velvet fuzz out of the way and just put that there so you can see the same thing. I'm gonna click the thing, move it up, and there we go. And then you see this beautiful, lovely thing. And so you can photograph your pottery or back here in the ring. Just depends on how you want to display it. So I'm going to go over here. With the pano, you can't zoom in. So you have to get to wherever you think that the object is going to pick up in it. Click it. And then boom, you have that beautiful. Looks just like something out of one of the magazines or museum websites.
Yeah, it does.
Not bad for a cell phone and a
No.
cardboard light box.
Yeah. Your cell phone and $20 at the dollar store.
Correct. It's not bad, and your wonderful artwork. So
yeah.
If you have any more questions, please contact me on this. I could totally go over any of that with you. Please stay tuned for the next part in our series. You can